Mikki, how do you put something like this together? I mean, maybe take a quick aside and like for people that
Sure.
don't know, I mean, you're brainstorming these ideas, you're going down these rabbit holes, but ultimately you have to make a film, and then ultimately you have to give it by a certain date, and you have to make a bunch of decisions like you made. I mean, you did some dramatizations. You put that audience watching the movie. I mean, as a filmmaker, I was very curious by a lot of those decisions. They were really interesting. But like, how do you put it all together in 140, 1 hour, 42 minutes and say, okay, this is what it's going to be? I mean, as concise as you can tell me, how do you do that?
Sure, sure. Well, it was the most challenging project that I've ever been involved in by far. I've had a few other projects that were challenging for other reasons, but as far as putting this narrative together, considering the fact that it's a movie happening in real time, even though we're using historical references, it has to change with the time. And so we would create an entire section, maybe a 10, 20-minute section that was incredibly important until a month later. And then we'd realize it's old news, it's dead, or it isn't what we thought it was. Scrap all of that. So it's making a movie in real time, constantly being aware of. Every day I'd come in and my crew would say, did you see what so-and-so said today and what CNN did and how they, and now the undercover thing that just happened or the new leaks or, and we would, every day have to readjust. So I was constantly rewriting my voiceover because, Sri Lanka changed during the process of this film. And we said, okay, now we have to tell the full story. Let's make Sri Lanka a bigger part of this so people can understand the real cost of what we'll hopefully get into, like the ESG model, the environmental social governance model, that is really the thing that's, doing so much damage out there and causing these major corporations to go woke and extreme. But I appreciate your question because I know you've made films and so you understand what goes into something like this. And it was absolutely challenging on especially the fact that, with Plandemic 1 and 2, with 2, we were simply following the work of David Martin and the patent trail. And we had one thing to prove, and that is that Anthony Fauci funded gain of function research through the NIH, and this is where it came from, and they're lying. And if you can just grok that, then you can understand something shady is happening, and they're lying to the people. Fairly easy story to tell. A lot of research involved, a lot of having to validate the patents and digging in and reading long, boring stuff. So it wasn't a cakewalk. But with the Great Awakening, wow, it was just a daily challenge of how we're telling the big picture now, and how much of it do we tell? Because the challenge was everyone wanted to tell every detail about all of these bombshells. And I finally got my crew aside and I said, let's talk for a moment, because I had a breakthrough here. And I think we need to understand this movie can't be 4 hours long, and it's heading in that direction right now. And so I said, if we were criminal prosecutors and there was a con man who was accused of 100 crimes, we could spend months in court trying to prove that each crime, that he was guilty of each crime. Or if we had a tape that this man lived under an assumed name, a complete phony identity, and scammed people in another country, if we could just show that, then the jury would assume that all these 100 crimes that he's guilty of it. So let's just show the evidence here and not spend our time on the minutia of all the details. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to present the higher level, what we felt was an answer to my inciting question in the beginning of the movie, which was, how did they get everyone to go along with this? For me, that was an important question to answer for the people, because I've had a lot of people that reached out to me to say, listen, I hated you 2 years ago. And now I realize that no claims have been debunked in your movie. You're on to something, but I just can't get with, the thing I can't get past is that I know that my doctor is not a bad person. You're not going to tell me they're part of some mustache twirling elite that planned this and my doctor now wants the worst for me, or that and I say, no, you need to understand, they're all captured. They're all captured. And the vast majority of the people that were pushing these ideologies and these protocols and all of that, they fully believed what they were doing was right. Of course they did. The people who ushered the Jews into the gas chambers fully believed what they were doing were right. The vast majority of them did. And that's the most important thing for us to look at, that we're capable of being manipulated to a point of believing an atrocity, something that allows us to commit atrocities, that is so far from reality that we can be led by the one insane individual to do great harm against thousands, if not millions, of our brothers and sisters. We need to check in with that as the human population. We need to take responsibility for the fact that while as we say in the film, while our government facilitated the situation, we enabled it. And we enable it in all the ways that we don't pay attention. Our attention is one of our most valuable commodities. It is a currency. And we're constantly paying our attention towards the very things that are destroying our lives and our futures. And we need to take responsibility for the fact that I've had a couple parents say, well, I don't fit into that category. And I say, well, when you chose a school for your child, did you go in and have a mandatory meeting with the teacher and the school board and find out what they believe in and what they stand for? Or did you pick the closest school for convenience to your home? Okay, that's how we participate. How many men in this nation and beyond know more about their favorite sports team and have no idea of who's running for their local county office or their sheriff, or they have no idea and they don't care, but they can tell you, everything about Kobe Bryant, and it's like, we need to really take responsibility for the fact that we've been lured into addiction of things that don't matter, and completely negating and forgetting and ignoring the things that matter the most, like our liberty, our freedom, the choices that we make, the clearing the pathway for our children to have the same liberties that we were granted, and to have the ability to think for themselves, above all, to return our education system to something that doesn't teach the children what to think, but how to think, so they can become individuals. And that's ultimately why I chose to make the movie. Like, the answer to the movie is, the problem is collectivism. The solution is sovereignty. Getting back to true diversity, because nothing with this inclusion diversity crap right now has anything to do with diversity, because what it really means is you must check every box of what your tribe believes. The moment that you say, oh, I'm for transgenderism, but I'm not sure that we should have biological men competing with women. Well, now you're transphobic, you're out of the club, you're out of the cult. We want to be surrounded by people who have that's true diversity. People have varying beliefs, different ways of thinking. We learn from that, we evolve from that, but they don't want us to evolve. They want us to devolve into automatrons, where we just, we look around and we, what is our tribe saying? I agree with that. I'm going to go with that. Instead of challenging it. I always tell people, challenge me. Don't listen to me. Don't believe everything in my movies. Feel free to challenge them. Exercise that ability and reinvigorate, activate our innate brilliance to critically think. That's really, for me, is number one.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world.
get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?